Hi everyone, it is Atia at Booking It with Atia, and today we're going to get into my weekly wrap-up. So this is everything that I read between February 5th to the 11th, I think. Yeah, whatever that Sunday is. Yeah, February 5th to February 11th. It's so interesting because I was creating this list of everything that I finished during the week, and before I compiled this, I thought that I hadn't read a lot. I was like, okay, you know, like, do I even have material for a weekly wrap up? And then I started like going through my reading journal. I was like, oh, okay, like I've actually finished quite a bit. It's been novels, it's been not as much manga this week, and it's been picture books, but yeah, I was reading. All right, so let's start with what I finished in the week. I finished 14 things. Yeah, well, let's jump right into it. And if you're not already subscribed, you should do so and click the notification bell so you're notified every time I release a new video. But let's start with what I finished in the month. Well, I'm so used to saying in the month, what I finished this past week. Alright, so the first thing I finished was a picture book. There was a party for Langston. This is by Jason Reynolds with art from Jerome Pumphrey and Jared Pumphrey. This is a imagining of a real life party that happened. And so the author, was it the illustrator? I think it was the author. Yeah, the author found a picture of two of his favorite writers, Maya Angelou and Amiri Baraka, and they were dancing together, and it turns out that that photo is from a celebration that took place in honor of Langston Hughes. And so this is that reimagining in picture book format. I absolutely loved this. I gave it 5 stars, and I do plan on at some point adding it to my personal collection, and just because I like showing off the artwork. I love how the illustrator really leaned into Hughes's ability to create feelings and emotions with his words, and he did that with his art, which was really cool. But yeah, I found this to be absolutely stunning, ow, in both the written portion and the artwork. Next up, we have another picture book. This picture book has actually been on my radar for over a year, and I finally got around to checking it out from the library, and this is Aurelie is a Dreamer. This is a real story. It's about Aurelie Morales. She is a DACA recipient, and so it goes through her journey coming to America and how she initially, her parents came to America, leaving her and her brother behind with their grandmother, and then they sent for the brother, and then they eventually sent for her, and it's her adjusting to life in America, adjusting to learning English. And I really enjoyed this one, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. Here's another. It's not a full page spread, so I'll just show you this one. But yeah, I really enjoyed the artwork in this one, as well as the, well, can I call it a story? It's a true story, so I also enjoy the journey as well. Then we have a middle grade fantasy. I finished up the 1,000 Worlds trilogy with Fox Snare by Yoon Ha Lee. This follows 2 main characters, Min and Seben, and these are the characters that we follow in Dragon Pearl and Tiger Honor respectively. I really enjoyed this. It was nice being able to see these 2 characters play off of one another and just also see their different interpretation of the same events, because a lot of the time they are spending time together, and I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I hope that Yoon Ha Lee comes out with more middle grade sci-fi fantasy, because I really do enjoy their writing in that realm, and I gave Fox Snare 4 stars. Back to picture books, I read A Walk in the Woods. This is by Nikki Grimes, Jerry Pinkney and Brian Pinkney, and this one is about a young boy who's just lost his father, and he finds or I don't know if he finds or his mother gives him a letter from the father who knew that he was passing, and so he tells his son to follow this map through the woods and take another walk in the woods because that is something that they did together. It was beautiful. My only thing, right, is that me and the artwork did not get along. This artwork gave me so much anxiety when I was first reading it, and it's a lot, right? So from far away, I understand the art and I get the art, and it doesn't give me as much anxiety from like back here. But when you're like reading it, it was too much. It was too much. I had initially given this 3 stars because me and the artwork we were beefing, but once I realized that I could appreciate the artwork from like arm's length away, I bumped it up to 3.5 stars. Then we have Homeland, My Father Dreams of Palestine by Hannah Mushabek and Reem Madhu. This is recalling the author's experience with her father telling them about his homeland of Palestine. This book came out before the current mass genocide that is happening now. It came out in early 2023, and Michael and Jackie, come on. And this was beautiful and also incredibly sad at the same time, because as I'm reading it and the author is, you know, expressing how they want to eventually be able to go back to Palestine, and they, you know that they know it's a possibility they may not be able to go back, but they have faith that they will be able to go back and they will be able to see where their father came from, like the buildings that he saw and the markets that he saw, and to know that that's probably not there anymore was just like heartbreaking. Very, very heartbreaking. So yeah, let me show you some of my favorite pages. Here's a spread that shows you the marketplace. Here's another one. But yeah, I ended up giving Homeland 4 stars. Then I finished volume 5 of Blue Period. This is a YA contemporary manga following a student who decides in his second year of high school that he wants to pursue art in a serious matter, and I ended up giving this one 5 stars. Blue Period is quickly becoming one of my favorite manga series. I was not expecting that. I had volume 1 on my shelves for so long, and it took me over a year to finally read it, and I'm upset that it took me this long. I am absolutely devouring this series. I also read volumes 9 and 10 of The Ancient Magus' Bride. This is a contemporary fantasy series about a young woman who begins to apprentice for a mage and their adventures. We have now entered a second story arc that I am deeply intrigued, and I think it has a clearer direction than the first story arc that we were going through in the first, like, I want to say first 8 or 9 volumes, and so I'm really enjoying the direction that we're going in right now. I ended up giving volume 9 5 stars and volume 10 3.5 stars. Then I listened to Quicksand by Gigi Pandian. This is number 3 in the Jaya Jones Treasure Hunt Cozy Mystery series. Again, really enjoying this series. This one was definitely like more high stakes. We have a heist, we have some art thievery. I'm really enjoying the character development that we're getting with Jaya Jones, and how even though each book is a standalone mystery, you are able to see, if you read it in order, you're able to see Jaya's trajectory, and also just seeing her relationship with the different men in her life and the different people in her life as well. And I'm really enjoying it, and I gave Quicksand 4 stars. Then we have the picture book, A Thousand White Butterflies. This is by Jessica Betancourt Perez and Karen Lynn Williams, illustrated by Gina Maldonado. This is about a young girl. She has recently immigrated to America from Colombia, and it is her first time seeing snow. She's about to start her first day at school, but it is the middle of winter and they get hit with a snowstorm. And so she goes out and she makes herself a friend. I gave this one 3 stars. The story was cute. The artwork was art. I don't know. I just didn't vibe with it. I really did not vibe with the artwork as much as I would have liked to, but it was a sweet story. Then we have The Magical Snowflake. This is by Burnett Ford and Erin K. Robinson. This is about a little girl who wishes upon a magical snowflake for snow because it is the dead of winter. Her and her friends want to go out and play, but there has been no snow, and so it snows and the whole town gets snowed in. I really enjoyed this artwork. Really enjoyed it. Let me show you. But yeah, and I ended up giving The Magical Snowflake 4 stars. Then we have The Egyptian Lullaby by Zena M. Pliska and illustrated by Hatem Ali. This one is about a little girl. Her aunt comes to visit from Cairo, and she's telling her about all the different sounds of this city and their culture, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the artwork in this one. So we have this, right? The standard illustration. But when you get to her talking about Cairo, it's like you have 2 different art styles that come to meet. You have the artist, actually artistic renderings, and then you have some real life pictures put in as well. I don't know if you can see that. And I thought that was so fascinating and so cool. And I just really enjoyed how the author was able to take all the different sounds that you would hear in the city of Cairo and put it into this type of lullaby, and it be able to be repeated. And I gave this one 5 stars. Then the last picture book that I finished last week was The Runaway Walk by Ying Chang Copestine, illustrated by Sebastia Serra. This is about a magical walk that a little boy buys, or he trades for some eggs, and in this village we have the character of Ming, and his family is kind of poor, like most of the people in this town. They all work for this one, I guess you can say, boss who doesn't treat them well, and the walk essentially goes around and gets reparations for the people. I really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the message. I enjoyed the artwork. There were some moments where I thought that the depiction of the fat characters was a little weird, and so that's why I gave it 4.5 stars instead of 5 stars. Here's another full page spread that I really enjoyed. Look at that. And yeah, I gave this one 4.5 stars. Then the last book that I finished last week was actually Michelangelo's Ghost. This is number 4 in the Jaya Jones Treasure Hunt series by Gigi Pandian. This one was interesting, and what I realized with this one is that Gigi Pandian takes us to different countries, and they're all tying back to the interesting relationship between European countries and India, and that cross-cultural collaboration or cross-cultural connection that has happened. And so in this one, we actually traveled to Spain for part of it, and I really liked the inclusion of the art history. I think that we got a lot more art history in this one than we have in previous books, which was really nice, and I ended up giving Michelangelo's Ghost 4 stars. Then we have some books that I didn't finish, but I made some progress in, starting with The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I'm reading this for my mother's book club, and so I got to the halfway point, right? Yeah, I got to the halfway point, and I will be finishing this up this week we have our meeting coming up next week, so I will be finishing this within the week, which is pretty cool. Then we have The Fetishist. I am blanking on who the author is because I am reading this via ebook, so I do not have a physical copy, and I read a few more pages. I'm intrigued by the premise, the writing. My birds are like content on making it difficult for me to record. I'm intrigued by the writing, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this story is going. Then we have Tales of the Celestial Kingdom. I'm absolutely obsessed with this cover, but that's not the point. And I got to about halfway through this one, and I am pretty certain that I will be finishing this one up this week, so you'll hear my thoughts on this very soon. Then I started the audiobook for We Are the Crisis by Cadwell Turnbull, and I got to about 50% in this one as well. I also made some progress in volume 8 of Blue Period. For some reason, I just can't sit down and finish this, even though I'm almost done. It's interesting, but I don't know. I'm having one of those moments. I also made progress in A Drop of Venom by Sajni Patel. This one I'm taking my time with, and I'm not at all mad at it. Don't know if I'll finish it in the upcoming week or the week after it, but I'm enjoying it so far. I also made progress in Coconut Drop Dead, which is another cozy mystery series. This is part of the Spice Isle Bakery Shop cozy mystery series, and I've been enjoying that. It's so funny, I actually finished it today, but as of last week, I had only made some progress in the audiobook. And so all of that, with what I finished and the progress I made in those books, I read a total of 1,118 pages and listened for a total of 19 hours, 43 minutes. So all in all, not too bad. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below, what did you read this past week? Make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Click the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I release a new video. All of my social links are down below, as well as the link to join my book club, my Pango Book storefront, as well as my Etsy shop, and I will see you in another video. Bye!
Showing. I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man. I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo. Got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Plus I'm copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me, I'm in the sky.